It's been an absolutely packed week. We've got 2 fan favourite LEGO Ideas projects officially becoming sets, a surprise sellout of the Jane Austen gift with purchase, clues that some beloved big sets might be riding off into the sunset, and we're even starting to get a little bit of detail in the rumours of the upcoming LEGO Star Trek set. Plus, a super exclusive set only 50 people on the planet have, and updates on upcoming releases from the Winter Village to Batman's Arkham Asylum. Grab yourself a snack, get comfy, and let's dive in, because this is Last Week in LEGO. And first up, the results are in from the LEGO Ideas 3rd 2024 review period, and 2 new sets have been approved. Out of 54 fan submissions under review, the winners are LEGO Godzilla by Matt E720 and Tintin's Space Rocket by TKel86. And yeah, you heard that right. We're getting a LEGO Godzilla. Can you imagine that guy rampaging around my LEGO city? This is going to be the first ever official LEGO set based on the iconic big monster thing. What is he? A big monster, which has fans incredibly excited and already speculating about which classic Godzilla design we'll get. Meanwhile, Tintin's red and white moon rocket from Destination Moon has finally made the cut after being in the parking lot for extra consideration. It's a classic European comic icon, and Tintin enthusiasts are over the moon about this one. And yeah, we're doing puns here now. We've always done puns. There's already chatter in the community hoping the set will include Tintin minifigures, because what's Tintin without Tintin, Snowy and Captain Haddock, right? We'll have to see how LEGO decide to handle that side of things. There were no minifigs on the original submission, but it's pretty hard to submit minifigures that don't currently exist. But either way, it's fantastic news for LEGO Ideas fans. In addition to those 2, we've also had another project called Camping Trip by Trauma that's been placed into that LEGO Ideas parking lot for further review. That means the Ideas team are giving it a bit more time to decide if it could become a set in the future. So fingers crossed for all of you who supported the cozy camping trip scene. I think it's awesome. Of the 3, I want that one most of all, so I really hope that one gets approved as well. But overall, it's great to see LEGO continuing to pick a diverse range of ideas set. We've got a giant monster, a classic rocket, and maybe a camping diorama coming soon. Obviously, we're still waiting for more details on both Godzilla and Tintin, such as pricing, piece counts, release dates over the next few months. But for now, congratulations to those fan designers. Those builds gathered 10,000 votes and will officially be made into real LEGO sets. And that is just super duper cool. Congratulations to the people who submitted those. And then if you blinked, you missed it, because the tribute to Jane Austen's books gift with purchase is already out of stock. This promotional set was supposed to be available through until June the 27th, but as of June 22nd, it had completely sold out online after only 3.5 days of availability. I warned you last week there was going to be some high demand for that one. The Jane Austen gift with purchase, which depicts a stack of books and a quill, was hugely popular, definitely boosted by the big Double Insiders Points event running at the same time. But even before Double Points had ended, both LEGO in the UK and US online stores had already run out of them. That's not to say you can't get one now. There's a chance it might still be in stock in your local bricks and mortar LEGO stores. So you might be able to still grab one in person, but online, they are done. And frankly, it seems LEGO underestimated just how many Jane Austen or literature-loving LEGO fans out there, which does seem bananas after how popular the Books Are My Passion gift with purchase was this time last year, or towards the end of last year, or whatever it was last year. That one still goes for like £80 on eBay. Or it could just be because so many people were stacking up their orders to maximise their double points and were just kind of getting the gift with purchase as a byproduct of that. It did have a fairly high spend at £135 in the UK, but that's not going to stop people when they're buying all of their big expensive sets that are retiring at the end of the year to get double points. If you were lucky enough to get one, congratulations. We've got 2 on the way because we did a couple of pick-a-brick orders. But if not, don't feel too bad about it. You're definitely not alone. There's lots of people who just weren't going to be in a position to act on that 3-day window that it was available for. The set is already showing up on secondary markets for silly prices. I saw it at conventions over the weekend. It is too expensive right now. So my advice, don't feed the scalpers just yet. Let it sit on the shelves for a little while and the price might drop. Who knows? But either way, we shouldn't encourage people getting loads of them and selling them on, says the guy who's got 2 of them. We're going to build them both. Me and Anna both wanted one. Either way, the gift with purchase looks very cool and I can't wait for mine to arrive. But of course, the past weekend wasn't just about Jane Austen. As mentioned before, we did have the much anticipated double LEGO Insiders Points event between June 19th and 23rd, where I know from all of the comments we've had here, Discord, TikTok, so many of you were timing your big purchases and your June 1st purchases to get 2 times points on everything, which is super duper smart because double points gives you about 10% cash back on future purchases as opposed to the normal 5%. So who doesn't love free points? Everybody went bananas for it. It was all over social media all weekend and lots of big sets have been bought. My Instagram has been full of Hogwarts castles and Rivendell's and Lion Knight's castles and the like. But if you didn't buy during double points or if the set you wanted went on back order, don't worry. I'm in the same boat as you. I wasn't able to get the Diagon Alley that I wanted because I had to buy a stupid new camera. And I've talked myself into not feeling too badly about it because in actual real money, that extra 5% isn't a huge difference maker. On a £400 set like Diagon Alley, it's an extra £20 saving. So it's not like that set's never going to be available again. It's just if I get it in a few weeks or a few months, I might end up paying 20 quid more for it than I would have done this weekend. It's not the end of the world and it's certainly a lot cheaper than it's going to be in a year or two's time after it's retired. So I know FOMO can hit hard, but it's actually, dare I say it, just after we've all spent loads of money and justified it with double points, but dare I say it, that it's not actually a huge deal. Plus, there's already rumours coming that we're going to get more double points events later on in the year. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see LEGO try and match up with whatever Amazon Prime are doing for their Prime Day in July. And of course, there'll be double points and discounts around Black Friday later in the year as well. So it's not like you've missed your chance to get the sets at double points if that really, really is the most important factor for you. So bottom line, if you missed double points this weekend just gone, and they did awkwardly put it between June 1st release and payday, so I can see why a lot of people had to miss out. Like I say, I'm in the same boat, but just enjoy what you were able to pick up. I got a couple of pick-a-brick orders for the Lego City, which is how we got our gifts for purchase. Don't worry, the next one is just around the corner. It'll be fine. What we did get as part of the double points weekend, though, is some interesting clues popping up about some of the much loved and more expensive sets that are on their way to retirement, and particularly the ones that might become a little bit harder to get later in the year. Certainly on the UK Lego store, 3 of the big expensive retiring sets went on back order. Diagon Alley, the one I've already mentioned, is on back order, as is the Lion Knight's Castle and the Orient Express. They're not showing as sold out, they're showing as back order. So if you do order one today, then it might be a few weeks before it comes. So they are coming back in stock, but it could give you an indication of the sets that could potentially sell out when we do come around to those potential Black Friday discounts or double points later in the year. So if they are sets that are on your list, you might want to move for those sooner rather than later. And I know those back order situations are different in different parts of the world as well. That's just the UK situation. It is interesting to see Diagon Alley and Lion Knight's Castle on the list, though, because they have both had long runs. Diagon Alley came out in 2020, Lion Knight's Castle in 2022, and they are both scheduled to retire by the end of 2025. But it just shows how many people are willing to sit and wait for deals towards the end of a product's life cycle. And again, a little note for the people suffering from FOMO. You don't have to get them when they first come out. People have been waiting 5 years for that Diagon Alley and have still gone bananas for it. The Orient Express being on the list is a little more surprising. It did release a little bit more recently, so there's not been as many opportunities to get this one on a deal, but it's also been fairly badly reviewed online. Even when I mentioned it on a few TikToks, people were confused as to the idea that it was selling as many as it was. It's a set I really like and really would like, but I wonder if there's maybe just less stock of that one overall, which is why that one went into the back order. Bottom line, though, these are all just clues about a potential future that hasn't happened yet. So don't panic, don't rush into anything, don't spend money you can't afford to spend, etc., etc., etc. There will still be opportunities before the end of the year to pick up these sets, even the ones that are now listed as back ordered. And if you look in the lego.com retiring soon section, they're not even in there yet. So that indicates to me that they are still in production and there will be more coming back in stock. And most of the back order dates are only a couple of weeks delay anyway. So worry not. Just maybe don't leave them to the 29th of December to pick them up and then be upset that they're out of stock and you were expecting them to still be on shelves until the end of the year, because they might not be. Moving on now into some wow, I'll definitely never own one of these news. The 2025 LEGO Insider Tour exclusive set has been revealed. And I mean, when you talk in terms of exclusive sets, this is about as exclusive as they come. If you don't know what this set is, each year, the LEGO Insiders Tour, which is a very expensive 3-day VIP event that takes place in Billund, gives their attendees a special set that you can't get anywhere else. You can't buy these. They're only available as part of that very expensive tour of Billund. For 2025, that set is the LEGO Insiders Tour 20th Anniversary Collection. It's a multi-build set that pays tribute to 20 years of those Insider Tour models. It includes miniature versions of past Inside Tour sets, like the 2005 Lecker automobile, Ole Kirk's house, the moulding machine, and more. It's basically a greatest hits package of previous ultra rare sets, which in itself is a pretty awesome way to celebrate the 20 years of doing these Insiders tours. And this one is going to be super collectible, because these sets are insanely limited. The initial pictures that we've seen on Reddit suggest that only 50 copies were made for each tour. They're individually numbered, and there's only a handful of tour groups each year. Apparently there's 10 in 2025. So that means at most there's going to be like 500 of these made ever. And like I say, they are individually numbered with the tour group's personalized photo and a number of 20 out of 50 or whatever it might be. So effectively, if you weren't already booked onto these Insider tours that sell out well in advance, you can't get on these ones now. Your chances of owning this set are basically zero unless you're prepared to pay astronomical resale prices. Previous Inside Tour sets have been known to go for thousands of pounds on the secondary market because collectors really, really want them. And this one, with only about 400 or so in existence and 6 unique builds in it, is likely to be no different, and is probably going to be one of the rarest LEGO sets of the decade. So if you do find one down the back of the sofa, squirrel it away somewhere, probably don't open it. That's your retirement right there. And if you are curious, Jay's Brick blog did an exclusive reveal with detailed photos and commentary. Definitely worth checking that out to see what all the fuss is about. And for everyone asking, why doesn't LEGO just sell these sets? Remember, they are part of what makes those Inside tours special. It's that having something that nobody else has. It's a holy grail fan item. So congratulations to anyone who got one. And for the rest of us, we've got pictures of them. That's as good as having the box sat on the shelf, isn't it? And maybe with a few Bricklink orders, we can piece some of the mini builds together if we really want them. And now we've got a little something for the Trekkies. And for once, I am actually talking about Star Trek. We've had rumours of this all year. LEGO Star Trek looks like it is finally happening at the end of this year. We have had a very credible leak from Swee9383 on Reddit. And they are saying that set number 10356, the USS Enterprise D, is coming through the LEGO Icons line and releasing later this year. Which apparently, and I know as much about this as I do Star Wars, that's the Starship Enterprise from Starship The Next Generation, apparently. It's going to be a big direct-to-consumer set, rated 18+, with about 3,500 pieces. The price is listed at $399.99 in US dollars, so probably around the 350, 360 mark in pounds. And it's scheduled for release on November the 28th, which is Black Friday. So it's going to be this year's big Black Friday set. Assuming all this is true, that means LEGO are planning a massive Star Trek model that's likely to be comparable in size to a Star Wars UCS ship, which is probably going to make the Star Trek fans very, very happy. The leak also suggests what minifigs might be included in this. I know none of this, so I'm just going to read from a list and pronounce most of them wrong, but expect to see Captain Picard, Riker, Data, Geordie LaForge, Worf. Are these for real? Dr. Crusher, Wesley Crusher, Deanna Troy, and even Guinan. So that's a roster of 9 minifigures, which is basically the entire crew, I think. Again, I know nothing about this. I've done some Googling. I've looked on Wikipedia. Do I look like I watch Star Trek? Okay, I do a bit, but I don't. And assuming this rumour is true, and we've heard it from so many places now that it's pretty safe to assume it probably is. This is the first ever official LEGO Star Trek set. There has been Mega Bloks Star Trek in the past. So this is just another of those licenses that LEGO have presumably yoinked from then, along with Pokemon and whatever else might be getting yoinked. Can we have the A-Team and He-Man, please? And as you can imagine, from quite a passionate community of fans, the reaction has been excitable, with Star Trek fans basically crying tears of joy at the idea of an official LEGO Enterprise. For me, I'm just relieved that it's a big, expensive Black Friday release that I'm not going to have to spend £400 on towards the end of the year, so I can save my money for the modular that will be coming out shortly afterwards. More of this kind of thing, please, LEGO. And talking of expensive things coming out towards the end of the year, we've also had a little bit of information about this year's Winter Village set. If you're not familiar, every year LEGO releases a festive Winter Village model on the 1st of October to basically add to the collection that comes out each year as a little Christmassy themed thing. And the rumour via BrickTap is that the 2025 Winter Village set is going to be number 10361 and is getting a price increase compared to previous years. We don't know a name yet, but what we do know is the Winter Village sets are usually around that £80 mark, which $99 price point. And this one's expected to be around $130. So what's that, around £110, £120. I don't know if this is just an inflation price increase or whether we're expecting a higher piece count or more detail. Without any more information than just a set number and a price, it's hard to speculate. There's been no images or anything leaked of it either, so who knows? Feel free to rampantly speculate in the comments about what it might be this year or about just what you'd like to see added into the Winter Village. Are we due another train and station? I'd like that. Can never have too many trains. And then finally, Batman fans, brace yourself, because for a long time we've seen rumours of an Arkham Asylum set coming later this year, and those rumours are starting to solidify a little bit. It's set number 76300, and it sounds like it's going to be awesome and enormous. It was originally expected this summer. It looks like it's actually going to be out in September instead. It's going to be a big 18 plus display set of Arkham Asylum, not a little kiddies play set this time. And fingers crossed, although this isn't confirmed, but it may well be done in a style compatible with the modular buildings, similar to how some of the bigger Marvel stuff like Avengers Tower have been. According to the leaks, we should expect it to be 2,953 pieces and coming in at $299.99 in dollars, so a little less in pounds, and coming out early September. I've seen it listed as both the 1st and the 9th, but it's coming out in September either way. And goodness me, I am excited. And what I'm particularly excited about is the suggestion by the rumours that this is going to be an inverse corner modular style building. So what I mean by inverse corner, instead of the standard corner that kind of goes that way and faces out like Tudor Corner that came out last year, this one's going to kind of go the other way. So buildings coming in like that, and then a bit in the middle, which could be like the Arkham Asylum entrance gate. LEGO have never really done an inverted corner for a modular before. So for those of you who've got cities that bend in multiple directions, like I have, it would be ideal for those corners where you need to get something in the corner there. And it would slot very nicely into my LEGO city. I've already got a space free for it next to my Avengers Tower. So for me, the building is definitely the most exciting bit, but I know for a lot of you, you're all about the minifigs, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the minifig lineup on this one either. There's 16 listed on the leak that I saw, and it's essentially a who's who of Batman characters. Now, remember, this is not an official list from LEGO yet, so this is subject to change, but expect it to be something like this. So we're expected to have some guy called Batman and possibly a Bruce Wayne either variant with an interchangeable head or a whole separate minifigure. I've seen it listed as both 15 and 16, so it's not clear if Bruce Wayne's a separate figure or not. But then loads of villains, and we all know Batman is all about the villains. And obviously with it being Arkham Asylum, these are likely to be the inmates of the asylum. So on the list, we've got Joker, Harley Quinn, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Bane, Killer Croc. Basically, like, if you can think of a Batman villain and you're not a super nerd who knows really deep cuts, but if you can think of a Batman villain, they're probably going to be in this set. And some of them are going to be wearing orange jumpsuits as well to show that they are in prison, which is going to be a nice little unique twist. There's also the suggestion that there might be some more of the Bat family members, including either a Batgirl or Batwoman. And probably the weirdest pick is Batwing, not as in the thing that Batman flies around in, but the character Luke Fox, which is a bit of a left field addition to the list. But you gotta have something a little niche for the nerds, I guess. They're also going to be including a couple of Arkham guards or maybe police officers just to give you some guys to help Batman and some guys for the baddies to attack, I guess. Either way, it's going to be a big minifigure lineup, not quite up there on Avengers Tower level, which I think had like 40 minifigures and basically the entire Marvel lineup, but maybe more comparable with something like the Daily Bugle that had a similar kind of number and basically covered off all of Spider-Man. This is basically covering off pretty much all of Batman, which works for me. And as a huge Batman nerd myself, this entire side of my office is basically Lego Batman stuff. I'm just super excited to be getting an updated version of Arkham Asylum, especially if it's going to be a modular building and I can just drop it straight into the city without any modification. Even if it ends up being an open back thing, it's fine. It's going to be in a corner. We're going to be good. And fingers crossed as well, we can take this as a signal from Lego that they're going to start pushing the DC theme a little bit more, because obviously Marvel has had the bigger push over recent years, but with Marvel declining in the cinema and the new DC latest relaunch thing happening, it'd be nice to get a couple of DC modulars is what I'm saying. And feel free to let me know down in the comments if there's any minifigures from the lineup that you're desperately upset aren't going to be there. And that was Last Week in Lego. We've covered everything from giant monsters to starships, castles to Christmas villages and exclusive sets that most of us will only ever dream about. It's been a crazy busy week with the double point stuff going on, and I mean, it's weeks like this that just make it fun to be a Lego fan, don't they? We've had a lovely time. If you've enjoyed this roundup, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more Lego news. I do this kind of video once a week, but there's loads more stuff going on the channel as well with the Lego City, various other shopping and convention things. Lots of stuff. Make sure you subscribe. And also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the stories we've covered in this video. Are you hyped for Lego Godzilla? Did you manage to snag the Jane Austen promo and now you know how sought after it potentially is? Are you looking to sell it or are you building it? And what do you think of the massive Arkham Asylum? Let me know down in the comments, and if you want to chat in a little bit more depth, feel free to head over to our Discord, where we'll be no doubt talking about all of this stuff long into the night. And I'll see you all again for next week's Last Week in Lego. Thanks for watching, folks.